another opportunity, another delight and privilege to be of value to our nation, our societies. We are back here on Euroforum, a new platform. Moses Mugisha is my name. We are a bit sorry as opposed to the time we had announced the program. Yes, but at least we are here and we are sorry for any inconveniences caused. It's a Sunday evening. A lot has happened throughout this week and there is so much pluses, minuses, but we, in any case, always have a reason to say thank you to God, and to those who don't believe in religion, thank you to nature. We are delighted to have Andrew Kyamagero. He's a Ugandan journalist working with NTV, but also branded as Umuntu wa Wansi. In our first show with him, my short introduction about him. Amongst others, I mentioned that he's an award winner for the Best News Anchor of the year some years back. And today, we want to go along that line of him being the best news anchor of the year somewhere in his lifetime. So today the show will be in English as opposed to the previous shows we've had with him in Uganda. It is entitled Know Your Worth. That is quite central. Yes, Andrew, I'm glad to have you again.
It's an honor to be here. I'm very humbled to be here. First, I want to apologize for the delay. It's not by Mugisha or the team. It's my full makings and challenges, and I want to apologize on that. But it's good to know you, that you're there. It's good to have you today. It's been a remarkable journey since we started where we are today. And today we are discussing something very pertinent to our usual lives, and not only to us, but to our children, our wives, our brothers, our husbands on the other side, but not only that, as people. And we're discussing something very critical, knowing your worth. It's an honor to be here again.
Yes, thank you so much, Andrew. Our viewer out there, we want to always thank you for sparing Euroforum and sharing these messages. We get so many feedbacks, which we feel so encouraging and motivating for us to carry on. Andrew Kyamagero, he's not only known as a very good Luganda communicator, but in English as well. Yes, Umuntu wa Wansi now comes rebranded as Umuntu wa Luzungu. Yes, I remember in our first show when we advertised, there is a friend who came to my inbox and said, "Omusajja mugambe akakanyemuko oluzungu alungi." Yes, I hope it will be the usual English.
Very much so. And
yes.
Let me just explain why I'm broadcasting this from the car. My son and daughter are upstairs and they're a little loud. This is the time to play loud. So I didn't want to interfere with them as well as their mother. That's why I'm here. But we're going to have a very good conversation where we can hear one another, understand one another, and not to make it much more complex for the audience to want to understand. And please feel free to share this feed to your friends and family in the other groups where you subscribe. And not only that, drop us a comment. We'll pick it as you're having this conversation.
Yes, thank you so much, Andrew. Yes, we are delighted to be sponsored by Auma's Bites and Flavors. This is a company that deals majorly in snacks, and it is a registered company here in Norway, owned by a friend and one of the Ugandans here, Dorin Auma, and that you, a Ugandan living in Norway. Yes, Nakabalagala, Insenene, Sumbusa, it's just a call away. And as you see on the screen, that's her logo, and the details will be coming in when you get a video clip showing you the details and how to reach Dorin Auma. She's branded here as Auntie Pani, one of the most flexible and business-oriented ladies I know, but again, down to earth. Yes, slightly away from that, Andrew, know your worth. This sounds very simple, but again, a bit complex. How do I know my worth? Most often, we end up overrating our worth over the rest with statements like, "Inze went to Wendy, that's me. Just take me as I am." Yes. You either take me or leave me, but that's me.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and that's knowing your worth. Yes, Andrew, knowing your worth. My worth, is it about my 6 packs? Is it about my outlook? Is it about how much wisdom I have? The head content? What's one's worth? What would be the right measure of one's worth?
Knowing your worth, I'll take it from the context of where one sits and stands. But in my understanding, it's totally an internal metric measurement, if I should put it that way. That what you believe you as a person, regardless of what other people think you are, or what other people say, that does not in any way contradict with what you know as an individual. Moses, you can lie to me, I can lie to any other person, but I as an individual, depending on my belief structures and systems, I know what I stand for, I know the principles I value in life, I know what I can go for. Now, all that is leveled around knowing your worth. Knowing your worth is it's more like knowing your value. What is your value? If you know your value, now your value can only be understood depending on the principles you have as an individual, the values you hold strongly that you cannot drift, twist, whatsoever the case it is, because that's what you stand for, regardless of what other people are going to say. You said this is what I believe in and this is what I run with.
Yes, thank you so much, Andrew. Yes, we've had a couple of Uganda shows, and the focus has often been Ugandans in the diaspora. Yes, this is from personal experience, and of course, many people I've interacted with. Our worth is usually tested. So sometimes it's inferiority complex, or it's directly directed to us, where we feel that somebody is trampling on your integrity. Yes, but in this very line, my worth, my personal egos, being arrogant, are there lines where we mix? Instead of holding your worth, holding your head above the water, you end up trampling on other space in the name of upholding your worth?
You see, I'll be very honest with you. There will always be someone who can see your worth, depending where they sit and stand. But someone can only be arrogant when they have so much information which you don't have, because information is power. Anyone who holds more power than you in terms of information, in terms of money, they'll always come off as arrogant. But knowing your worth is you standing on your principles, regardless of what the society dynamics could be. You could know that this is my worth and these are my principles, and I'm not willing, whatsoever the case it is, to bend them because this is what I stand for. You can never find a Muslim person, for lack of a better example, who will actually say, I'm going to eat pork because it's the only food here. He won't, because he knows his religious worth, that this is something haram. I cannot take into it. So I strongly believe that everyone wants to be happy and satisfied in one relationship. It could be business, it could be intimate, but when it gets to the dynamics of knowing your worth, arrogance is not a yardstick for one to say that you know your worth. I can still stand on my principles, politely so, but by not, stepping on your egos or something of the sort. But I can still say, well, from my school of thought and from what I believe in, I am not going to do that. Politely so, I won't do it. But I may come off as someone who is a little bit firm. And we have a problem as Africans or as Blacks that people who are firm, we take them to be a little bit arrogant. We take them to be a bit more aggressive than what it should be. But this comes from our structures, our community, our conditioning, where we grew up from, that some of us are not known to say no. You're always going to be saying yes. Or even when someone says no to you, you feel very much offended. You feel this is uncalled for. You feel like, oh, I have so much trust. This person couldn't have done something like this, of this magnitude to me, because what? because you feel they're entitled to your understanding and your worth. So when they say no to you, you feel like this is totally wrong. I mean, they should have done better. Now, that is a juxtaposition which all of us don't want to know. Some people could say, I just don't want to work with you, and you'll immediately throw a racial card. Maybe I'm a black person, maybe I'm a Spaniard, maybe because I'm all those condescending kind of tones will come in play because you yourself, you've taken your worth and you've subdued it to the nature at play, all the dynamics at play. So me, I'll be very honest with you. Your egocentrism, your selfness, or your principles can only be your principles depending on the matrix that is going to hit you as you move as a person. But it's always very critical, again, Moses, to always know when your worth is going to be tested. Because everyone has a price. We should never remember, rather forget that. Everyone has a price. Your price could not be money. That money does not move you. But there's some things like power that are going to compromise your worth. That you're going to shift opinions, principles, because you've been given power. We have seen that here in Kampala, where some people are very wealthy, they are rich, and money is not at any of anything that can change them. But when they're given power, their worth changes. So we should always know that. But once you know that, it's easy to see when such incidents are coming to you, so that you prepare yourself on how best you're going to engage, how best you're going to shift. And when you're going to shift, you're shifting on what tetracode, on what grounds are you shifting? Are you just shifting because it's what is in for you, or is the greater good much more bigger than what you're giving in? Then is your conscience clear? Let me tell you, you can change your worth depending on what is coming in a short time, but your conscience will always be tormented for a lifetime. So you need to evaluate the short-term returns and the long-term returns in that aspect.
Yes, thank you so much, Andrew. To you, viewers just joined, Andrew Kyamagero is our guest today, and the topic is one of those we often speak about, knowing your worth. Yes, as you spoke, I got your concern in line with a few elements you highlighted. Knowing your worth being tested. There is a popular saying in many countries. I've also watched American movies that everyone has a price. How does that connect to one's worth?
The issue here is most times people confuse self-worth to pride. Someone can be proud and they think they know their worth. That is totally different. Knowing your price, rather everyone having a price, it's everyone has a breaking point. Your carrying capacities have a limit that they cannot be stretched further. And the same thing happens to your worth, your self-worth. There's some things that are going to break. You see, when politicians, and where we are in a country, where a third world country, and any country that is being driven by dictators, they will know that you're strong at principle A, at principle B. You don't just change your goals because of money. They'll find something that's going to break you. The same applies to self-worth. Everyone has a price. Your price could be that it's not about money. Your price could be traveling around the world. And people are going to say, if you give him travel documents and a ticket to fly, free to fly anywhere around the world, you have him. Now, that's the price you're going to pay. It could be your children, that anything that engages or entangles your children, you're going to give in. That is your price. It could be your wife, it could be your husband. We all ought to know what kind of something are we ready to compromise to make sure that we are humbled. Now, that is the price, Moses.
Okay. So that isn't it something to do with money? To those who front corruption, as
it may not be money. Let me be very honest with you, Moses. Giving you money, let me say I'm giving you $10,000 million. of US and saying that you're a PA to the president? Which is more powerful?
That can be tricky, but I think being a PA,
I'm
in my
giving
view, I think
I'm giving you, let me say, $100 million. And being a PA, a personal assistant to the president, what is more worth there?
the latter.
See? Now, the latter has power. So that means I could give you $100 million US and you go and you blow with God knows with what. But you'll never have access again to the power that ran the land. But here you are, every person who wants to see the president, the decisions that are being made, critical, sensitive meetings that are running, you're always there. So you have the power. Now, that will compromise your principles. You realize that money is not something that is always going to make us, change our principles and know our self-worth. But the power, and that's where I'm driving the narrative. Do you know the power you have as an individual? Because at times we always give out our power to people we assume that they actually have our interests at heart, yet they don't. Now, that's where the juxtaposition comes in, that you don't know so much power you have over your life and you've just given it out to your friends and family, to your colleagues. You've given out your power to your parents, to those who have not addressed the black tax critically. And these people are actually taking you for granted because, that is all you can actually offer to them. Now,
thank you so much. Okay.
If you get in that state that you don't know how you can control your power, then you become susceptible to being used when people just give you so much power that you can't control.
Yes, that was quite a deep reflection, and thank you so much. And the songs like Something for Something, Nothing for Nothing. Okay.
You really want to go down that road? I'll tell you something. That's a reality of life. Everything that's given up to you, it may not pay today, but there is a return on investment. People cannot just love you because they love you. They must be either quantifying what they're learning from you, that's 1, 2, either the connections you have and the contacts you have, 3, either you're in the position that can propel them to where they want to be. Something for something and nothing for nothing. But it's your worth that attracts people to your spaces.
Okay. Yes, I'm glad. I'm glad that we seem to be facing the same direction, in as much as your depth is maybe deeper than mine.
I will learn from you as well.
Yes. Okay. About your worth, I'll share from personal experience. I once had a restaurant years back in Kasubi, and I remember it was called Mr. Food's Restaurant, and I remember there were so many people who didn't even know my name. Mr. Food, Mr. Food, Mr. Food, Mr. Food. When I closed this restaurant, I realized there was a drastic change in the way I was addressed. I also realized that some people knew I was Moses, but were addressing me as Mugisha Moses. So I started being called Moses every time I passed by. And even some of my former employees, Mr. Uncle Moses, some even called me Moses. So now drawing this to reality, we are often addressed in line with what we have or who we are. Then I was Mr. Foods, and then afterwards I became Moses. Was my worth then, in people's eyes, hinged to what I had?
Society will always, and you see, this is a very good conversation, Moses, because I've always told people, just strip yourself of everything that makes you who you are. Then you're going to find your real worth. If you have a master's, if you have a PhD and they call you a doctor because you have all those books, look at yourself without those books. What do people know you for? If everyone calls you that, oh, Kyamagero, a journalist, without being a journalist, without being on the media, what do people know me for? Without being married to Linda, and I'm just me, what is my worth? What do I stand for? And what is that one thing that would make me survive regardless? Imagine yourself that you didn't go to school. Imagine with all the contacts you have today that you didn't have them. Imagine that all the privileges and the promises you have today, they were not at play. Who are you?
What a question.
Now, what you see is your worth.
Okay. That is in people's eyes. But is there swapping the coin?
No, that is not in people's eyes, because what I've done, Moses, I have flipped what people see and I've taken it away from you. Now, it has two double-edged models. One, it gives you a sense of self-reflection to understand and find who you are. You'll find your ikigai and you'll find your strength. Then to the people, you realize that everyone who has actually come to your life, besides all that you've stripped yourself away from, you'll then find the true people see who you are. Whether you're rich, whether you're poor, you'll find those two people who will actually, and those people are very minimal, by the way. It's a little number. It's so handful, but that's who you really are. So that model helps you reflect of who you are. Let me tell you what, Moses. People who know their worth, they can differentiate between overconfidence and self-esteem, and they're better communicators. People who don't know their worth, they feel always attacked. Even when you're just sharing something with good heart, with good intentions, they will always perceive it from the other angle, like because to them, they feel insecure. They lack esteem. So at times, some people lack esteem, self-esteem is not there, and they choose to replace it with overconfidence. Bananda Babachanga, the whole me, I cannot stand on this. So they're going to reflect. So they don't want to be vulnerable, but they rather come off as overconfident and overly assertive because they have a wreckage in their innermost esteem. Why? Because they don't know how to be, they don't know their worth. Their self-esteem is totally broken. Now, self-esteem and knowing your worth, they're two different things. With your self-esteem, which is very pumped up and very strong, you can know when to say no, and you mean it, and you have a way where you're going to say yes, but you'll say yes with a mindset or with an intention of understanding. People who know their worth, they don't just refute things that come to them. They will refute them, but they will ask for a better understanding as to why they can possibly change. And that kind of model gives them a chance that even after being explained to them, in too depth, they will still say, I now understand it better, and I'm still going to say no, because now I'm actually informed. But you realize the esteem is not shaken whatsoever the case it is.
Okay, Andrew, thank you so much. Now, just to our viewers watching out there, I want to thank you for finding this worth your time. Okay, exactly the word. Thank you for finding it worth your time. Kindly share it on, and feel free to drop a comment. Yes, it's we are both discussing a concept, but also elements attached to it. Your worth.
Yeah.
Yes. When you said your real worth and your worth. So you let me understand the difference, because when you say that stripe yourself of for the riches, the power, and what is left is your real worth. Just a question. Today, Robert Kyagulanyi Bobi Wine. It's just very clear in a context of value to the society that it has scaled up so high in the last 4 or 5 years. So would someone say his worth has scaled up or something? Would someone call it his worth to the society scaling up, or what would someone call that?
To some of you who have known him today or yesterday or 5 years, he will say that. To us who have known him from back in the days, his worth has never changed. He still believes he's a hustler. He still believes he wants to change things. That is his worth. It has never changed. He has stayed real to what he says. And that's why the youth generation in this country and in the diaspora, they believe in him. That even if you take away the guitar from him, even if you take away all the riches and the wealth, you will still find him. He will still have the same drive, the same motivation. He will still drive the people around him to look in the same direction of personal development and changing the country they live in. That is his worth.
Okay, from what I understand is that worth has nothing to do with power and wealth. Okay, am I getting it right?
It depends on the context at what you're looking at. Wealth and power are one. When it gets to what we call you as an individual, I told you that when you strip yourself of everything and the naked you comes to life, what do you see? And what do the people see? And what they see, can they still attract them to you? Can they still come to you? Can you still equally reach out with that naked you? That is your worth. Please don't complicate it to pride. Don't complicate it to arrogancy, because the juxtaposition is totally unique. Because there you have no power, you have no wealth, you have no money, but it's the you, the naked you. That is what makes everything unique.
Okay, Andrew, thank you so much. You see, as I'm asking this, I'm sure there are viewers, who are finding, a bit of confusion with this, because this is a very common phrase.
Yeah.
My worth. I'm trying to disregard my integrity, disregard my worth. So, because worth.
And you see, integrity, it is something that comes from the values you hold. Someone challenging your integrity, how do you justify your integrity? It all comes from the values you hold. The principles, you cannot just wake up and you just say, I've changed this. You understand? There are people who totally believe that for them, they are Baganda men. If you greet them when you're not kneeling, you've not greeted them. They find that their worth as men of that culture, it can only be justified by kneeling for them. That is the value they have. So if you don't kneel down and you don't greet him while you're kneeling, they're going to find it a little bit, abusive, for lack of a better context there. But the end goal is, did you greet him? Make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So
it does.
He wants to be knelt to while you're greeting. And he is coming nowhere where you can greet anyone, whether you're standing or you're walking. Now, the action is totally unique from his principles of value. So he will feel insulted. But where he is, the dynamics are unique.
Yes. Thank you so much, Andrew.
Moses, let me just break it down here.
Please go ahead.
If one day they put you at loggerheads and they put you to the farthest extreme, how far can you go to break the values you believe in? Can you die for them? Or can you compromise them?
To answer that, I'll make reference to something I was one time suggested to. It was something that seemingly was a good deal. And I told this person, and somewhere in a meeting of a diverse collection, I said the same, and I'll say it on air. When it comes to money, because that's one of the most tempting. Yes, I don't believe there is money enough. And me down to disregard or trample on my integrity. Yes. So I think I hope I've answered you.
Now, what informs your integrity, Moses, that not even money can buy? My
values.
Thank you.
Which I hold so dear, and I've already said and sounded arrogant in somebody's ears that my integrity and values are way bigger than even the space I hold in Norway, one of the richest countries. I need to have a Mugisha Moses, that a friend in Uganda, a friend in Norway, and if one time I'm in Rwanda, a friend in Rwanda, there is a threat that describes Mugisha Moses, regardless of where I am.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's your value.
Yes, thank you so much, Andrew. Okay, about our worth, self-worth, and maybe worth in a broader picture, and also what you said, self-confidence.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a very common saying when people are encouraging people to keep afloat, people to have this confidence and have a value in life, that don't strip so low. Yes, maybe usually ladies are told so. Don't strip so low. When someone is told not to strip so low, are they told not to lose their dignity? Are they told not to lose their worth? What are they exactly told? We need to dissect these things to understand them clearly.
Choice of words, I'll run with that. Don't strip so low. Literally, mankind will tell you where you need to go low, please go low.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
But not so low that you lose your dignity. And the dignity comes in your worth. That no matter how bad it is, you know, Moses, you've not been in safe houses. Me, I've been in the safe houses before here. And when they take you to safe houses, they don't want to break your family or something of this sort. They just want to break your self-worth. They want to break your dignity, that they're going to make you strip and they'll put whatever bricks on your manhood before other men, that even your innermost frame breaks and you're like, now, once they break that, they can have anything. And that's why people are put into incarceration, to break them. They want to break that because it's something inwardly that is built over time, that it keeps you and it maintains your direction of life as a person. And that's what makes you unique.
Okay. Yes, I really love the reflections about this. I know these are things that maybe don't seem to be directly of need to us, but again, they make us and they make every single bit of the steps we take in life. We shall now take a short break. We want to thank you all watching and request you to please share this feed. It is an English show this time. Someone told me, like I said before, I hope you viewing who know Kyamagero on NTV, he's trying to soften his English.
No. I'm a typical Ugandan, and we are having a conversation as people. So let's take a break. But while you're taking a break, friends and family, please share this feed to farthest you can share this. I want to thank, I see Niger Anit already there and the others. Please, let's share this feed wide that other people can actually benefit from this. We'll come back shortly.
Bangamba ngamba omusajja akakanyeemu tatwala.
take me through those procedures from when a message of concern goes, to when Barnabas knocks on my door and I have to take my child.
But
Yes, we welcome you back from the break. We are right here with Andrew Kyamagero, Muntu wa Wansi, but this time round, for Muntu Woluzungu. Yes, and yes, I've gotten some feedback here in my inbox that, yes, you've really made it soft to a very digestible level.
Thank you.
The topic is know your worth. Yes, I'll bring another case. This I got from someone. That most often, for failure to know who we are, I don't want to say my worth or our worth, but who we are, we end up taking different positions or taking up tasks that are meant to be lower than those we should have taken. It's like, Andrew, you're invited to an occasion. You're actually the guest of honor because you don't really know that you're worth taking up the high table seat. You end up sitting behind. And maybe someone takes a step to ask you, Andrew, you're the guest of honor. Come on, man. You still find it really hard. You don't feel it in yourself to walk down the aisle, to get to your seat. Because you feel you're not home. The same thing people tell one another. Andrew, you made it. I see you made it. I heard you recently graduated with your master's. I heard you got a very good job. And I know you're working with NSSF. You made it now, no man. Don't just put me there. So cases like that, are those cases where we find that we don't really know our worth? Are we just trying to play it humble? Is it just keeping a low profile? What is it exactly?
At times it's done by thieves or cunning people. Mostly done by politicians who want to use it as a scale to actually assure the people that they are so humble, that humility is their biggest feed. And they will say, it's okay, I can be here, I'll come as and when I'm ready to address. Strong people have a strong sense of worth, that they don't need approval of others to actually be what they want to be or what they are. And people will always tell you that I am not there yet. At times they don't feel they have earned it. They know that they come from a background that is tainted with a lot of challenges, left, right, and center, and they just don't want to do it. But again, most people who do that are strong religious people, where they have gone so much into religion, and the religion they believe, they subscribe to, tells them you should always humble yourself no matter what it is. Yet at times they have earned their worth, they have earned that position in society that they should come and stand tall as fountain of honor or fountains of authority to give leadership and guidance to where that particular society is going. But because of the religion they subscribe to, they feel they're being praised so much, and anytime soon they're going to fall. So usually they do this because they still have a wreckage in their innermost frame, and they're preparing their ground that in case things turn around and they fall, it won't be as hard as it should be. So such people have a little bit of low esteem in themselves, because people who believe in themselves, they don't try to convince others. No. Anyone who is content with oneself does not need other people's approval to be there. If I'm the guest of honor, on arrival, I will demand, not request, but I will demand a team that is meant to put me where I'm supposed to sit as a guest of honor. I will wait for them to show me which direction should I take because I'm the guest of honor. Some of these things come not because we're so proud or because we're so self-centered, but because I am here on that particular purpose. Tell you what, every person who actually stands up and is going to be a guest of honor, there are some preparations you undergo through that when you appear as per that particular level you expected in. You don't expect the president or the member of parliament or whoever who is strong in society to come and sit among the audience. They are here to be motivated. They're here to be inspired. They're here to be given accountability, and you're at the forefront of it. And as such, you're going to sit before them because that is your task. So you're the only person on earth who can use your ability. And that's where your power lies. That's your worth.
Thank you, Andrew. Yes, I really hope the way I perceive your breakdowns of these seemingly sophisticated terms is the same way someone out there views and perceives them. There are people watching here. Naonime Sharon says, okay, this is getting interesting. Namazi Josephine, a great conversation from me, Chairman, referring to you. Alan Mirembe, wow, Chairman, Sawaya Kweyubula, yes, probably watching Wansi. Ane Prinari Biamukama says personal values and what you believe in makes yourself worth. Though nowadays it's about what people can get from you and what you can give. And he also adds that if you haven't made it to somewhere, people will not understand your worth. Yes, picking it up exactly from this comment here. When people study and earn titles, society perceives them as being high profile, as having scaled up in profile. Many of these people also feel the same, and many would demand that those titles be attached to their names. So, yes, you earlier said that what you have, what you've earned does not define your worth.
Yeah.
But, okay, now they're employing two people, a certificate holder, a master's degree holder. You're the employer. Okay. In your lenses, wouldn't you really agree that one is worthy of your placement as a manager maybe than the other?
Okay.
Because yes, you're saying no, it's about
and I'll break it down for you. People who always throw out their titles usually don't make sense to mankind. Because the moment you throw out the titles in one or the other, you block people to engage you from a simple context of life. Managers who are movers and transformation at their workspaces, you'll find them saying, don't call me manager. Our model of managers of this generation, it's open door management. Like you can just walk in, don't call me manager, just call me Andrew. So you come, you say, oh, Andrew, do you mind doing that? Like, no, I can't do that, but maybe I can run it by Moses. Now, when you find others who only find their worth in manager, the moment you attach the titles to what you are, the moment you make them part of what you are, you're susceptible to being exploited. Because then I know the only way to get anything from you, Moses, I have to come and praise you as manager, doctor, Mukuru, Sebu, Omukukuna. Now, and that's how people actually can be in position to penetrate your circles and they get to you. The only way to strip them of anything of that nature is to say you. That's why when you find really millennial managers and the models of management have changed, that people don't want titles. You find them and they say, oh, that is Professor. Say, no, don't mind about the prof. Just call me James. And the moment he says, call me James, it's easier to interact with him. It's easier to listen to him. It's easier to share your opinion when you're not fogged, because titles build a very big wall which people cannot go through. It does not mean in any sense that you're not a doctor. It does not mean in any sense you're lesser of a manager, but you are now a team leader. And as such, because you've taken away those titles, you've opened up yourself to learn more. You've opened up people to actually be invited to your space and possibly learn from you. As soon as you trust yourself, you will know how to actually live without a title.
Oh, yes, I'm compelled to really agree with you. Yes, because yes, we once hosted someone here who shared from experience how she perceives Swedish doctors. They would prefer being called by their names than Dr. So-and-so. Yes, maybe it's about culture, or rather, I mean, the society build up and people find it comfortable to be addressed as doctor, engineer, and the like. Yes, but yes, Andrew, as we wind up, yes, I speak to someone out there, majorly an immigrant, who finds a challenge working with his head up, but again, not being arrogant and too assertive. In a society where most often you're the only black, most often you're the maybe you lie low below the employment ladder. But again, you have to live, you have to survive, and you have to be of value and effective. How best can they know their worth, but of course within limits?
Okay. Well, I'll be very honest with you, my dear friend in the diaspora. Know your worth. People will always act like they are doing more for you than you're doing for them. That is something you need to know. And I'll tell you that life is 10% of what you're experiencing. The other 90% is how you respond to it. That is something you ought to understand as a person. What defines you isn't how many times you're crashing, but how many times you're coming back and you're bouncing back. Not just letting life go because everything seems not to make sense is something that's going to break you. You may be the only person left who believes in you, but it's enough. That's all you need. You need to learn to believe in yourself. It takes just one star to pierce the entire universe of darkness. And I'll tell you what, you are unique in your sense and understanding. I can do what you do, but I can't be you. You're that unique. You have a uniqueness. Knowing your worth, maybe your relationship has actually been crumbling down because you didn't know your worth. And that's why your better half is actually abusive. They think because when they give you money, they have the right to actually do whatever they want. Because they're narcissists and they're treating you as trash because you have nothing. Knowing your worth is going to give you principles, and it's going to, in one way or the other, encourage you to work so that you earn everything you have in your life. Because if you don't earn anything, you can't value it. You'll always, for some reason, it will slip out of your hands and you won't feel the pain that it has actually gone. But anything you've earned as an individual, you hold on to it as life depends on it. So yes, you could be in a relationship that is abusive. It's abusive because you don't know your worth. And at times, narcissists will always try to find someone who is selfless, someone who is extremely loving, someone who has no support structure, and they will isolate you from any other person who would actually give these kind of talks to you. You need to wake up to that reality. Knowing your worth, regardless of your color, where you are, if your worth is strong and you do what you know is right to you, the universe will open up other avenues. It will open up contacts. It will open up opportunities that plug exactly into your worth. Because that's what you stand for. And I'll tell you for a fact, comrade, life will only run to what we believe in as people. It will take us time to get there. You could be a son, a daughter, and your parents don't believe in you. They don't trust in you. It's because of your recent past. You are not so perfect, just like any other person. I myself, I'm not perfect. I'm not saint either. But life teaches us in one way or the other to become what we are. And I want you to tap into that. Ask yourself a question. With all this that I have, in case I didn't have it, who am I? And that is going to trigger you to what is your why? Why are you so clinging to that person that you can't let them go, even when you feel it's so toxic? What is holding you back to take the step you wanted to take in life, but for some reason or two, you feel you're not worthy to actually take up this step? Look at what you wanted to go back and study, but for some reason, you just don't feel
Hey
like
people,
you're ready
are
to
you
go
planning
back
a
and study.
vacation and in need of
Look at the disciplines you have, the doctorates you have, the education you've accumulated over time, the wealth you have. Some of you are wealthy. But does it give you the peace of mind that this is my worth? Until you find that friend, until you find that, my dear brother, sister, relative, wherever you are around the globe where you're watching me from, you won't find peace. Your worth will protect you even when the universe doesn't seem to make sense. Your worth will protect your wealth even when your wealth is threatened by society dynamics to be taken and shaken away. Your worth will keep you grounded when your papers from Uganda, from Kuala Lumpur, from Spain, from Philippines, from any other country you came from to where you are doesn't seem to make sense. Your worth will keep you grounded. And guess what? You'll see the light at the end of the tunnel. At times, most of us have hinged and blanked our worth to our education, to our color, to our race, to our religion, to our beliefs. Can you disrupt that for a moment and you'll find your true worth?
Wow. Yes, there was a lot of content, and I'm glad that yes, we are live and as well recording all this. Andrew, worth as the opposite, worthless.
Mm-hmm.
In your lenses, how would you describe a worthless man?
A worthless man is someone who has nothing to die for. Someone who does not have principles is standing and is saying, I'm going to defend this regardless. Someone who is always beaten, and when he breaks down, he never comes back. Someone who has lost hope, that everything seems not to make sense. You could be in the diaspora and things have not turned out. You've been there for 10, 15 years or so, but there is nothing tangible you can quantify and say, this is me. You could be in the diaspora and you don't have the red book for those in Norway, or you don't have the papers that are valid and they're certified. You're not in their system and you feel that is your worth. And because you don't have it, you feel worthless. Bro, that's wrong. You need to start to look at life with a different lens. First of all, celebrate that you're alive. Having all these papers, there are those who had these papers and they're dead. Are they here? And do those papers make sense anymore? They don't. So celebrate the fact that you're actually alive and you're still running. That is something very practical and critical. Two, celebrate the fact that you are in the space where you can actually control some of these things. What you can't control, let it be. Let it go. Some people are scared of the rain, but they can't control the rain. It will come and it will be stormy, but it will go. Tell you what, sunshine comes to those that are in the rain. You can never know how valuable the sunshine is if you've never been in a season of winter, if you've never been in a season of rain. And that's how I take worth. So some people will always know your worth, but they will actually break you that you're worthless. You can be in a relationship where your partner knows that you're so stronger than them, and the only way they can break you is telling you that you're worthless. You're dependent on me. I'm going to cut my fee to you. I'm not going to give you any more money. I'm going to cut your education fee. Now, they do that to deem you worthless because the money they give you, they seem it's your worth. The job you have, they're abusing you, but you say, what can I do? It's all I have left to actually survive. It's until you break away from the toxicity around you that you can see other opportunities. When you don't know your worth, some things that are bad will seem bad in your eyes, but you'll embrace them anyway because you can't see beyond that. An abuser will abuse you and you'll feel you can only deal with him because it's the only him you have actually no, it's only her you know. And you can't see other people around you who are looking at you with a lot of beam of light and positivity because you're blinded with hopelessness that is being inserted by the conditioning where you are. And you need to wake up to that occasion and you say, wait a minute, I am of worth. I am of value. The people in your life, they're there because they have some value they see in you. And guess what, Moses? People know the potential and the capacity you have as an individual, but they will never tell you. Instead, they will actually tell it to the third parties that if Moses could do A, B, C, D, E, or you want to say, but they won't tell that to you because naturally people fear to see you soar. But now that you know, shake up and disrupt some of the things and see how far you're going to go.
Yes, thank you, Andrew. Yes, you watching us there. Yes, it could be a comment, it could be a supplement, it could be, you could be deferring, by the way. So feel the comfort of deferring openly and publicly. Your comment in the comment section does us a lot of good, as opposed to coming in my inbox when the show is done. So we love this to be a spot of interaction where we learn from you as you learn from us. Yes, Andrew, just to help a viewer out there who could be in the same basket as I am, when you said your work should not be hinged on what you can do or what you have. I will give you an example. You're an engineer. Sekatawa is also an engineer. Yes, I raise you a call. I have a technical problem in my house. You come, spend 1 full hour, no results. I let you go. I call Sekatawa. He comes around 30 minutes.
Or 10 minutes.
Or 10 minutes. I have results. And I'll call my wife. Oh, yeah, I'm just here with Sekatawa. His 30 minutes were worth my time. His service is worth my money. So my reference to measure worth in this context is your productivity and ability to solve my problem.
That's true.
And Andrew, you're here telling me that me being an engineer does not, ascertain that I'm worthy enough as compared to another engineer or someone who isn't an engineer.
Yes.
Please clear air on that.
Well, what I can clear to that, Sekatawa is in position to actually do this kind of work in 10 minutes because of experience. Maybe the other engineer you brought is an engineer of 2 months or 1 year from the university. Sekatawa has been practicing for how long? His productivity level is totally above the pedigree because of the experience he has. And that experience is life. That's where we draw the line. That you being an engineer, and you realize that over time, Sekatawa does not want to be called an engineer as life goes on. He knows the engineering bit and he will come and, fix whatever needs to be fixed and he will go. Compared to the one who's just came out from the university, who wants the titles so much. The thing is, over time, Sekatawa will value the relationship more than the money. Because
would the public, in this context, would the public be right? Because we need results. We need engineers who can produce. Would the public be right to say that in line with what we want to deliver, the engineering task we have, Sekatawa is worth more than Kyamagero? Wouldn't be the public right about that?
The public would be worth that because of the deliverables in time. The juxtaposition comes in the attitude of Sekatawa and the attitude of the community. Because these were two engineers that were brought on site. Public will say, Sekatawa yachikoze kubanga Sekatawa alina obumanyi. He's an expert. And that's why Sekatawa was in position to deliver faster than the other engineer. The other engineer, yes, he has the paperwork. Yes, he went to school. But the deliverables, the experience does not correlate with the productivity level or the deliverables at hand. And that's where knowing your worth is. And I've told you that Sekatawa represents the millennial managers who don't want titles, but they will still be who they are. Like taking away his title that engineer does not take away the knowledge and the skills he has. He will still deliver anyway. And the ones who want to be always, flanked with a lot of titles here and there, they won't deliver. And they won't deliver. And when they fail to deliver, they will explain a lot why they have failed to deliver. So they will have excuses. But for Sekatawa, I will say, what am I dealing with? I'm dealing with this. Okay, this technology is old. You need this kind of technology. When you get that, let me come through. And the other one who loves the titles, because his worth is in the title, he will come, he will say, I can work with that old technology anyway.
Okay. Yes, I will admit that I'm pulled to your side.
No,
Yes,
you don't need to admit.
Yes, I admit. Reason being, because I didn't see you convince me that when someone can deliver, when two people can equally trained in this context, and one can deliver and the other cannot, that I should not call the one more worthy than the other. So, but when you open it up this way, I see a lot of sense and correlation in the aspects you're putting on table, because it also throws a message to myself and someone watching us that you're a doctor, you're a nurse somewhere, and in the hospital where you work, people are preferring 2-3 doctors above you. And my understanding of your explanation, Andrew, that this should not say anything about you. It is about them. That maybe you're not as experienced as Dr. Musinguzi, Dr. Matayo, but you in your line, you maybe get there.
Yeah,
so that's what I perceived of you, and thank you so much.
Yeah, that's true.
We have people watching here, and Jose Yuji says, "Thank you, Mr. Kyamagero Andrew, for this topic." Namazi Josephine says, "Ever with educative content worth my time." Thank you, Chair.
Yeah,
I love the word worth.
Is that a worth?
Yes, because this is actually the gist of this topic today. Patrick Muhanguzi Baguma says, interesting conversation. Chimbugwe Yuda. That's our Tata Mandela. Nzempagira gwe. I like alemedwa gatako na lo. Yes, Tata Mandela and Sasha. Thank you for your time. Your content is worth my time.
Thank you so much. And your time is worth my time.
Yes. And yes, as we wind up, still about worthiness and maybe those who may brand others as being less worthy. You watching us, the topic is Know Your Worth. It is Andrew Kyamagero is an NTV journalist. I'm aware that on this platform, we recently hosted a guest from India, and I'm aware that we got new followers from India who certainly are finding this topic correlating exactly with what the topic we had about that gentleman. Christine Nicoleta Mpata says, "Worth my time." Also adding to that. Okay.
Wow, that's my sister. Hi, Christine. Christine is my real sister.
Oh, yeah. Yes, Christine. Yes, I will assume that Christine and yourself are cut from the same cloth. So maybe one time we shall invite Christine to also share nuggets of knowledge to us here on this platform.
Very much so. Very much so.
Yes, Rizik Topaz, she's one of our regular guests here discussing the Norwegian child welfare system, Banavan. She says a very interesting topic. Greetings to you all watching from Norway, the country where I live, and anyone else watching from Africa, Asia, North and South America, and of course Europe. Thank you for always tuning into Eurofora. Andrew, yes, there is a saying in Luganda, NNC ekwagala mega so. The world only needs value contents in you. Relate this topic to that phrase and make sense of it to our viewer out there.
Well, the universe or the world where we actually thrive and live will always love you because of the value you add to them. I can only have the friends I have because they value what I value most. And what I value most is transparency, is honesty, is living with a lot of humility in life. And that's the value I have. So your worth can only make sense to us if you have the value addition to the universe. What you do will actually be traced, and we will actually measure that, what you do. And from that, we'll be in position to say this person is worth the time. This person is worth the investment. This person is worth, it will only start from there. So I strongly believe that we need to embrace it from that kind of school of thought to make the world a better place, be of value. Whatever you're doing, however small it is, take it in bits. You are of value and you're highly valued by the people because of what you do. Celebrate the small wins you have as a person, because through that you'll be in position to scale up the bigger achievements you want to achieve as a person.
Yes, thank you so much, Andrew.
Thank you.
More comments here flowing in. Alan Mirembe also again adds, hello chair, onyambye nnyo okweyubula. I love the content. Sarah Nakato, greetings to you. And to those who have shared this show, please keep this spirit burning. It's a big thank you to you all.
Thank you for sharing.
Yes, those keeping the interactions burning, I want to applaud you and thank you so much. Mugisha Moses is my name, and we are right here in Oslo. We often have regular shows with Andrew Kyamagero. It's just that this time we want to speak to the entire world, and that is English that we've chosen to use this time. I'll share from.
I think we should maintain the English so that we actually talk to more people around the globe, that we can stretch a little bit. Those who have issues with the regards to language in Luganda and all, they can still pick what I say. I strongly believe in that. Language has a way of making sense to people. They will always listen. They may not be in position to respond back, but they can actually understand. So that's my honest opinion, but it's subject to your discretion or belief.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew, for that reflection. It is always, I love calling this a talk show. Just to just throw the ball to one another to make really sense of this. I would just share from personal experience as we wind off this. Yesterday we had a football match, Uganda against Congo, which we won with 7-4. Of course, as usual, we win. So no doubt about that. And then to inform you watching us out there, 8th to 10th. It will be the Euro Crane tournament where 7 Ugandan teams from 7 European teams. So it will be Denmark, Sweden, Germany, Netherlands, Finland, Belgium, and us, Norway. So please, anyone around Europe and maybe close countries, please, you're warmly invited to come interact and have fun. And as I wind up, yesterday we had the match against Congo. And as I was interacting with a colleague, I happened to be the chairman, Uganda Cranes Norway, where, of course, voluntary work, there is a lot you put, and you don't usually get direct pay. But depending on what motivates you to serve, you feel paid at regular intervals. But someone asked that all this time you inject, do you think people will remember you? And I felt I should bring this to this show. Do you think people will remember you? And my precise answer, and which I want to share here, you also give me a reflection as you wind up, that people remembering me has nothing to do with my drive to serve. So it's not about them that I serve. So, and I don't need to get accreditation of people I serve for me to be driven to serve. It is way beyond them, not even the closest person in 100 meters range. So it is just about me and as enriching as getting satisfaction that it is done and having created a legacy that you've done something. And also,
That's
I
it.
also want to maintain this. I have two beautiful daughters. Euroforum, whatever show we share here, I have in mind that someday they will watch this content.
Yeah, they will.
And also, what I serve in the Ugandan community in Norway, it is majorly about serving the community from what is driven, but also about those girls that I should be their first role model, their first inspiration.
That's
so,
true.
Andrew, as you end up using my case here, most often, words like abantu tebajjukira. We tie our worth and value to people, and knowing that they will not appreciate us, we are sometimes held back to serve because we feel our worth is about people working and people saying, yes, you've done it. Yes, in your closing remarks. Yes.
In my closing remarks, I'll be very honest with you. No one works for legacy that's going to please people. Personally, I'm not a person pleaser. I'll tell it to you as it is. You take it or you leave it. You feel uncomfortable, you walk away. I'm fine with it because I'm living me. This is my life, and I've chosen to live it as per that direction. So anyone who is doing anything to please people, they're easily broken. They are susceptible to big heartbreaks, and they're suicidal people, by the way. They're very, very suicidal because they'll feel like I've done so much and I need to be appreciated, and nothing has actually been done. So in life, never do anything expecting a result of appreciation from people. Do it because it gives you mental sanity. Do it because it gives you happiness. Do it because it gives you joy. There's some people I go and I talk to and I'm never paid. But to me, that's okay because the value of the content I give them, maybe it will change their lives today. Maybe 10 or 20 years from today, they will possibly reflect and they will say, oh, there was a man who actually told me this. Maybe that will help. But when it gets to us who want to please people, if your journey of life, you want to make people happy, you want to appease people, that's why you're easy to break. And you keep doing the same thing because you're looking for validation from people to remember. And that's why when they hurt you, you're very fast to remind them, you can't remember this. I went out of my way. I did all this. That is all nonsense. If you're in this life and you really want to do things that are going to make you happy, never expect a return. Do it because it gives you joy. Do it because it adds value to the world. Do it because it makes your community a better place to be. As and when you're gone, the universe will appreciate it. It may not come directly back to you. It may actually go to your great-grandchildren, not even your grandchildren, not even your children, but the universe will always reciprocate it back as and when it's due. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Andrew. We shall call it off here for now. A comment from Alan Mirembe, continue to serve. Your impact is felt. I believe this to the both of us. Christine Nicoletta Mpata, some people do it as a service and a call. Alan Mirembe adds, if you are a people pleaser, you'll be broken and unhappy at the same time. That true. I agree, yes. Yes, thank you so much for your time. Special greetings to you. Yes, to you, matoke.no, Kajansi Vacation Home, and Auma Bites and Flavors, our sponsors. Thank you for making this happen. And to you, our dear viewers, you do us a great service, knowing that you're there watching, and especially your comments keep us on track. A special thank you to you, Gibson Omumuza, doing the broadcast in the background. He's a colleague in Uganda. And the Euroforum team, thank you so much. Andrew Kyamagero, you're such a blessing as your name.
Thank you so much. I'm very honored for the platform, and I hope maybe these conversations we have one day, they impact souls around the globe, that people are in position to reflect on what life means to them. Those who are a little suicidal and they're depressed and in anxiety, we hope they find peace. And not only that, just remind them it's only a season. It will all settle back and you'll be back on your foot. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Andrew. And anyone out there serving, more so voluntary work, keep in mind that your service can outlive you for the rest of time. Thank you so much. We sign out for now. Bye-bye.
Hey people, are you planning a vacation and in need of an accommodation place with a spacious and serene environment? Well, Kajansi Vacation Home is definitely the place to stay. A 4-bedroom fully furnished home located in Kajansi, about 5 minutes from Kajansi Police Station along the Market Road. It's got ample parking space, a spacious living room with natural light, 3 bathrooms, a well-equipped kitchen, 4 spacious bedrooms with fresh linen, and a comfortable dining area. During your stay, you're able to occupy the whole house and enjoy other amenities such as internet, breakfast, pets, etc. We also ensure your safety, so we've got full-time security for you. You can book with us on Airbnb. For inquiries, contact us on our WhatsApp number +47 952 84156 or send us an email at hannahjensen18@gmail.com. Kajansi Vacation Home, your home away from home. We look forward to welcoming you.